Hello friends, welcome back to Learning Nails and Aesthetics. We are on chapter 3 in the Milady Nails book, starting on page 59. We'll be going to page 56. Skin structures, disorders, and diseases. Invest in your skin. It is going to represent you for a very long time. Lyndon Tyler. Learning objectives. After completing this chapter, you will be able to 1. Explain why knowledge of skin structures, disorders, and diseases is valuable for a nail technician. 2. Label the main layers, sublayers, nerves, and glands of the skin. 3. Describe the 6 primary functions of the skin. 4. Outline the approaches to maintaining healthy skin. 5. Describe how environmental and lifestyle factors can contribute to the aging of the skin. 6. Identify the symptoms of the most common skin disorders and diseases. 7. Describe how to prevent the most common skin-related problems in the salon. Check out my other books as well. I have the Milady Foundations book as well as their Aesthetics book. Keep in mind, I am not AI. Mistakes will be made, so just laugh along with me, and we will get through this together. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. I would like to grow this channel. I have a lot of other fun things, nail art, stickers, Temu unboxing, various brands of polish, and other fun nail things. Let's continue. Starting on page 59. Explain why knowledge of skin structures, disorders, and diseases is valuable for a nail technician. The skin is the largest organ of our bodies. A clear, glowing, and even complexion is the ultimate and desired result for good skin health and hygiene. In the 21st century, skincare has entered a new realm of high technology products and services. Beauty treatments today offer high-performance ingredients and advanced cosmetic delivery systems that are formulated to help protect, repair, and preserve the health and beauty of the skin. No matter how advanced the latest skincare technology may be, knowing how to care for skin begins with an understanding of its underlying structure, how it functions, and the skin's basic needs. As a nail technician, you also must recognize adverse conditions, including irritated or inflamed skin conditions, diseases, and infectious skin disorders, so these clients can be referred to a medical professional for treatment if needed. The medical branch of science that deals with the study of skin, its nature, structure, functions, diseases, and treatment is called dermatology. A dermatologist is a physician engaged in the practice of treating the skin, including its structures, functions, and diseases. Nail technicians can provide cleansing, preservation of health, and beautification of the skin on the hands, arms below the elbow, feet and legs below the knee. They are not allowed to diagnose, prescribe, recommend or provide any type of treatment for abnormal conditions, illness, or disease. To do so is a violation of federal law. Telling clients that they have a nail fungus and should use product X is to get rid of it is that they, as an example of how a nail technician might improperly diagnose and prescribe treatment for a medical condition. Instead, nail technicians should explain to the client that they appear to have an unhealthy nail condition that should be examined by a doctor before any service can be provided. You should not proceed without written clearance from a doctor indicating that the condition is not contagious and will not infect your other clients. As a nail professional, an overview of skin structure, growth, and nutrition is important in order to understand the skin and how it normally functions when healthy, recognize unhealthy conditions that should be referred to a physician. Recognize when you should and should not work on the skin. Label the main layers, sublayers, nerves, and glands of the skin. The integumentary system is an organ system consisting of skin, hair, nails, and exocrine glands. The skin is the largest organ of the body. If the skin of an average adult were stretched out, it would cover over 3,000 square inches and weigh about 6 to 9 pounds. Our skin protects the network of muscles, bones, nerves, and blood vessels, and everything else inside our bodies. It is our only barrier against the environment. The skin located under our eyes and around the eyelids is the thinnest skin of the body. The skin on the palms of our hands and soles of our feet is the thickest. Healthy skin is slightly moist, soft, and flexible, with a texture, feel, and appearance that ideally is smooth and fine-grained. The surface of healthy skin is slightly acidic, and its immune response reacts quickly to microscopic organisms that touch or try to enter it. Appendages of the skin include hair, nails, and sweat and oil glands. Continued, repeated pressure on any part of the skin can cause it to thicken and develop into a callus, which is a very important and much needed protective layer that prevents damage to the underlying skin. This layer should never be completely removed because this can lead to injury and possible infection. The skin is composed of 3 layers: the epidermis, dermis, and subcutaneous tissue, or hypodermis. Figure 3-1. Figure 3-1 is a structure of the skin. It is a pretty detailed picture for our purposes. If you are just listening, it is a very good idea to look at this picture unless you're driving or anything else dangerous that you should not take your eyes off of. So pause this video or replay it later if you are unable to look at the picture at this time. The epidermis is the outermost and thinnest layer of the skin. It does not contain blood vessels and is reliant on the dermis for its nutrition for continuous cell renewal. The epidermis is comprised of 5 layers. Each layer is named for its function and appearance. Every layer begins with the word stratum, which is Latin for layer. We will examine these layers from the top down to the deepest one. The outermost top layer of the epidermis is the stratum corneum. This layer is visible to the eye and is the layer that is cared for by the beauty practitioner. The stratum corneum is a physical barrier, like armor, for the body. Its primary function is protection. Stratum corneum. The stratum corneum, also called the horny layer, is the first layer of defense against foreign substances and antigens such as UV rays, pollution, allergens, viruses, bacteria, and undesirable topicals. We can assess one's level of photo damage, skin type, and any abnormal skin conditions by examining this layer. Its scale-like cells are continually being shed and replaced by others that are consistently rising to the surface from underneath. These cells contain significant amounts of keratin, a fibrous protein that is also the principal component of hair and nails. Keratinization is the chemical conversion of living cells into dead cells. The skin renewal process takes 25 to 28 days, depending upon one's age, health, and the area of the body. These keratinized cells, combined with lipids or fats, along with minerals, salts, and water that are produced by lipids or fats along with minerals, salts, and water, that are produced by glands in the skin. This makes up the outer layer of the skin, known as the barrier function or acid mantle. It is both protective and water resistant. Stratum lucidum. The stratum lucidum is the clear, transparent layer just under the skin surface. It consists of small, oval-shaped cells through which light can pass. The stratum lucidum layer is most abundant in the palms of our hands and the soles of our feet. These thicker areas have ridges that give our palms and soles traction through friction, so we don't slip when walking or drop items that we grasp. The ridges and whorls upon our fingers, also known as fingerprints, and toes are dependent upon the lucidum layer to form. They are unique to everyone and never change with age. Stratum granulosum, or the grainy layer, consists of cells that look like small, distinct granules. These cells are dying as they are pushed to the surface and will eventually replace the stratum corneum, or dead skin cells, as they are shed from the skin's surface layer. The tiny desmosomes from the residual finger-like protrusions that were broken away from the outer layer of the spinosum cells combine with the granule cells. They become part of the intercellular cement that holds all the skin layers together, like mortar for bricks. The process of keratization is completed within this layer. Stratum spinosum is often referred to as the spiny layer. This layer is just above the basal layer, which is the deepest layer, of the epidermis. As these cells rise to the surface, they form desmosomes, finger-like projections that function like cogs or spot welds between the cells. This is where the Langerhans cells, which are immune support cells, reside. The Langerhans cells in this layer help protect the body from infection by identifying potential harm substances known as antigens. Langerhans is capitalized, so I assume it is the person who discovered some of this information in the layers of the skin. I will be doing some research on that to be presented in a future video. Anything else you might be interested in to dive deeper into, let me know in the comments and we'll do that. Okay, now I lost my place. Here we go. Stratum germativium. The stratum germativium is also known as the basal layer and is the deepest living layer of the epidermis. It produces new epidermal skin cells through a process of mitosis to replace the keratinized skin cells that are shed from the stratum corneum by daily cleansing and normal or overactive cellular metabolism. Back to page 62, down in the left-hand corner. Did you know sunscreen needs to be applied 15 minutes before direct exposure to the skin? So back up on page 63, this layer has specialized column-shaped cells that produce cells called melanocytes. These cells produce melanosomes, or pigmented granules containing melanin. Now, page 63 on the upper right-hand corner. Did you know certain conditions can expedite the tanning or burning response to the skin? This is known as the albedo effect. Albedo refers to how reflective and bright something is. Snow has a high albedo effect, which is why skiers wear sunglasses and sunscreen. So if you're sunbathing between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., the sun's intensity will be magnified by water from the pool, dewdrops on grass that has been watered, and even concrete. Therefore, proper application of sunscreen is crucial. Skin color. The color of the skin, whether fair, medium, or dark, depends primarily on melanin. The tiny grains of pigment, coloring matter, deposited into cells in the basal cell layer of the epidermis and the papillary layers of the dermis. The color of the skin is a hereditary trait and varies among races and nationalities. Genes determine the amount and type of pigment produced in an individual. The body produces two types of melanin: pheomelanin, which is red to yellow in color; eumelanin, which is deep brown to black. People with light-colored skin mostly produce pheomelanin, while those with dark-colored skin mostly produce eumelanin. In addition, individuals differ in the size of melanin particles, which can create variations of skin shade. Melanin helps protect sensitive cells against excessive UV exposure. However, that's not all that is needed to prevent skin damage. Daily use of a sunscreen with a sun protection factor, which is SPF, sun protection factor, SPF, is 15 up to 30, can help the melanin in the skin protect the skin from burning and from receiving damage that can lead to skin cancer or premature aging. Sunscreen products with SPF values lower than 15 may help prevent sunburn, but will not help prevent skin cancer or premature aging. Sunscreens with SPF above 50 are no more effective at blocking UV, so they are unnecessary to use. The dermis. The dermis, or true skin, is the underlying or inner layer of the skin. It is also called the dermis corneum, or cutis. This highly sensitive layer is about 25 times thicker than the epidermis. Within its structure, there are numerous blood vessels, lymph vessels, nerves, sweat glands, oil glands, and hair follicles, as well as erector pili muscles, tiny involuntary muscles at the base of the hair follicle that cause goosebumps. The papillae, small cone-shaped projections of elastic tissue that point upward into the epidermis. The dermis is made up of two layers: the papillary layer and the deeper reticular layer. Papillary layer is the upper layer of the dermis located directly beneath the epidermis. Here you will find the dermal papillae, which are small, cone-shaped elevations containing large amounts of a gel-like substance, chemically known as mucopolysaccharides, or glucose aminoglycans. This substance makes up a great deal of the reticular dermis below. The papillae also contain looped capillary vessels, lymphatic vessels, and small nerve endings called tactile corpuscles that are sensitive to touch and pressure. The papillary layer accounts for 10 to 20% of the dermis. Reticular layer is the deepest layer of the dermis and supplies the skin with all its oxygen and nutrients. The major support for the skin is derived from this layer. It is home to the following structures within the network: sweat glands, blood vessels, hair follicles, lymph vessels, erector pili muscles, oil glands, nerve endings, collagen fibroblasts, elastin. The subcutaneous layer is a fatty layer found below the dermis. The fat tissue is also called adipose tissue or subcutaneous tissue and varies in thickness according to the age, gender, weight, and general health of the individual. It gives smoothness and contour to the body, contains fats that store oil-soluble vitamins and hormones, acts as an emergency source of food for use as energy, and serves as a protective cushion for the skin and underlying structures. Nerves of the skin. The skin is covered with surface endings of the following nerve fibers. Motor nerve fibers are distributed to the erector pili muscle attached to their hair follicles. These muscles can cause goosebumps when a person is frightened or cold. Sensory nerve fibers react to heat, cold touch, pressure, and pain. These sensory receptors send messages to the brain. Secretory nerve fibers are distributed to the sweat and oil glands of the skin. Secretory nerves, which are part of the autonomic nervous system, regulate the excretion of perspiration from the sweat glands and control the flow of sebum, a fatty or oily secretion of the sebaceous glands, to the surface of the skin. Activity. Test your senses. Gather the following items to test various senses: smooth, an apple; rough, sandpaper or a rock; cold, ice; warm, cup of hot water. Blindfold your classmate. Hand them each item and ask them to describe it. Sense of touch. The papillary layer of the dermis houses the nerve endings that provide the body with the sense of touch. Figure 3-3. These nerve endings register basic sensations such as touch, pain, heat, cold, and pressure. Nerve endings are most abundant in the fingertips, where they are needed most. Complex sensations, such as vibrations, seem to depend on the sensitivity of a combination of these nerve endings. Figure 3-3 is pressure, vibration, temperature, pain, and itching are transmitted via special receptory organs and nerves. Sensory receptors of the skin. Again, it is a good idea to look at this picture if you are able to pause the video, or look at it later if you're just listening. Strength and flexibility of the skin. The skin gets its strength, form, and flexibility from two specific structures composed of flexible protein fibers found within the dermis. These two structures are called collagen and elastin and make up 70% of the dermis. Collagen is a fibrous protein that gives the skin form and strength. There are as many as 16 types of collagen throughout the body. However, collagen types 1 and 3 are most abundant in the skin. This fiber makes up a large portion of the dermis, approximately 70%, and helps give structural support to the skin by holding together all the structures found in this layer. Collagen fibers are interwoven with a protein called elastin, which makes up about 15% of the collagen fibers. This fiber gives the skin its flexibility, helping it regain its shape even after being repeatedly stretched or expanded. Both fibers are important to the overall health and appearance of the skin. As we age, these fibers weaken, which results in the loss of elasticity and contributes to the development of fine lines, wrinkles, and sagging. Most scientists now believe that signs of skin aging under the age of 50 are caused by previous sun exposure. Keeping the skin healthy, protected, moisturized, and free of disease will slow the weakening process and help keep the skin looking young longer. And that'll do it for this video. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Check out my other videos as well, the Milady Aesthetics book, as well as the Milady Foundations book, and all the other fun things. I appreciate you watching. I hope this video was helpful to you, and have a great day. Thanks. Bye.